Brandon Cherry here with Living in Vacaville, your local Vacaville realtor and surrounding areas. Today we are in the beautiful Browns Valley. This is a sought after community. A lot of friends live in here. I went to school, Browns Valley, 5th and 6th, so I know this area well. And I've hiked all these trails behind me. So this really cool thing about Browns Valley is a lot of these areas back up to open space where you can have access to these areas. So let's jump in the car. We're gonna drive around and check it out. So we are entering Browns Valley from Brown Street. This is the old original way to get there. And there are walking paths starting here all the way down Browns Valley Road. So lots of walkable trails. That's one really cool feature about Browns Valley. So we're gonna be turning onto Allison right now from Brown Street. So Allison, so Nugget grocery store is right there. That's the closest grocery store. The Nut Tree Airport's right there. Centennial baseball fields are right down that way, which we will show you a little bit later. That's Allison down that way. So we're coming on to Browns Valley Road, which is the main thoroughfare and artery to the neighborhoods of Browns Valley. So coming up on the right is Suncrest, and that is one little pocket area, or Sunrise rather, right there. You can see the walking trails coming down here on the left. And so this is a 45 or 40 mile an hour road, but it does seem to get a little bit busier than that sometimes. We're going to take a right onto Shannon, and if you see Shannon, Irish city name, this is the Irish side. So most of these street names here past Suncrest are Irish city names. So we call this the Irish side, or the east side of Browns Valley, or the lower side. I like to call it the Irish side. So these homes down here were built starting in '88 through the early '90s. So most of them are going to be composition roof. You still have some cement tile roofs right here, but then you'll see them transition into composition style roofs and wood siding in the front on these. This lower area of Browns Valley right here is known to get moisture under the homes because you can see it comes down from the hills over here. And so some of these homes need to have a sump pump or vapor barrier down under the home. So if you're buying in this area, you just need to be aware of that, right? So it's okay if homes get moist underneath sometimes, as long as there's proper ventilation and a remedy. So all these, otherwise you have huge issues with these homes here, and that's just not the case. So just something to be aware of. If you're buying in this area, make sure you get a really good home inspection, pest inspection, have them crawl under there, make sure everything is looking good and everything has what it's supposed to have. So that's kind of my tip. There's actually one for sale right here. That's for $589. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. And we're continuing here. I believe these were built by Hoffman Homes. And it's Waterford. All right, Shannon. Irish city names. We have another one on the corner here, just a little above 600,000 for that one. And there's a decent turnover in this area. And what I mean by turnover is, how often homes go for sale. So you have a good number. I'd say we're about moderate right now as far as homes for sale in the area. So we're going to take a right on Tipperary. Turning right onto Tipperary here. And this is going to get us over to Ridgeview Park, which is the main park in Browns Valley. You have the park that's kind of attached to Browns Valley School, but this is the main park in the area. And it's a good sized park, has a huge grass area. So you can see some of these, we get back onto this side, are the red tile and stucco design. A little different than what we see on the north side. Different design. These are kind of more of a mute red tile roof and stucco, so kind of Mediterranean style. So this is Ridgeview Park coming up here. Fun fact, I used to rollerblade and skate that rail, grind that rail right there. But you can see it's a large grass area. We've got the soccer field set up right now. You see a lot of soccer practice happening here, baseball practice. They have this really cool barbecue area that's covered. And so if you want to come here and have a soccer game, throw the Frisbee around, it's a really good spot to bring the family and do all of that. And blue water back in here. Let's show blue water. So one thing about these homes is they have a 0 lot line. Let me show you what I mean by that. So they have a fence that side of the house right there is the fence, right? So there's like no common fence in the middle. You have the side of the home is actually the property line. So we call that a 0 lot line. So turn around and show you. We'll show you one more example of that. Why not? Let's just continue to come around here. So you can see right here, you open this and the property line is actually the side of that house. So that fence line doesn't go all the way down, if that makes sense. I actually had a good friend that lived in this home right here. That backs up to Browns Valley Parkway right here. And you can see this is a pretty busy court. A lot of cars in this court. So I'd say Browns Valley has a good mix of homes that are now turned into rentals since they first bought, just because it's been there for that long, right? And you're gonna have people that move up or move out and end up renting that home. So, but ownership wise, there's still a high percentage of owner occupants in Browns Valley, all throughout Browns Valley, not just this lower side here. So we'll take a left back onto Blue Water Drive, and this is gonna get us back towards Tipperary. Again, you can see the cement style roofs. These are more like what you see on newer homes these days. Taking a left on Tipperary, and we're gonna show you the Glen Eagle Estates side. Browns Valley is a huge development though. There are hundreds and hundreds of homes in this development. One of the most popular places to go trick-or-treating is in Browns Valley. People will literally drop their kids off here to go trick-or-treating just because it's so family friendly. You know, there's not cars zipping up and down because you're off of this main road here. So we're taking a right onto Browns Valley Road, and we're gonna be coming up to Vacaville. So you have Allison and Brown Street that gets you access over here, and then your main access from 505 is going to be Vacaville. That'll take you over to Lowe's, Kaiser, and Lonza, which was Genentech. So we're gonna take a left onto Vacaville, and that's gonna get us up towards Glen Eagle Ranch. All right, so Glen Eagle Ranch is going to have a lot higher price points. So you're going up into the high 8s to $1 million because you have larger homes over here, and I will show you what I'm talking about. So a lot of these are gonna have, I think a majority of these are gonna have 3-car garages. So you can see instantly how much larger these homes are, right? So let's take you for a little drive into Glen Eagle Ranch. That one is obviously for sale right now. I believe it's in contract already. That one went pretty quick. And let's go to Birchwood Court. You can see even the single stories have 3-car garages. This one backs up to open space. A lot of these back up to open space, which is a really cool feature. 3-car garages. Large lots, right? Nice mature landscaping. And there is no HOA in here. You are allowed to have your motorhomes parked, and there's just a lot more people that have them out because now we're in camping season. You know, this is May that we're filming this. So we're gonna go up Diamond Oaks here. These are all really cool offshoots that have really nice sized lots. You can see they back up to the hills there. And if I was to go on Hillcrest Circle, you're gonna see some of these open spaces that I'm talking about. Backing up to the Nut Tree Boulders. It's really popular for rock climbing. fact, you can see one of the boulders was right here. You can access it. So people will park right here, even though you're not really supposed to. And one of the boulders that people like to climb is right up there. So it says, please use trailhead parking. And we're going to show you where that's at, one of the other trailheads as well. But that's one of the many open spaces. You can see it backs up to these rolling hills. It's just beautiful. Still green into May. We got some late rains this year. These are green, usually to May, and they turn to a golden brown afterwards. Wide streets here, very quiet. If I was to live in Browns Valley, this is an area that I would favorite just because it has wider streets and larger homes. And I'll show you one more example of the open space here. And then we'll turn around and go back down. Bam, another open space right here. It says rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes. They do appear every once in a while, but not a huge problem here. Love the landscape on that one. We're going to continue to come down Canyon Oak, and we're going to turn on Hillcrest and pop out over back on Vacaville. So, hope this gives you a good idea of what Glen Eagle Ranch looks like. Turnover here is lower. It's just a smaller community. So you may have to do some door knocking in here, which I've done for clients before. Actually sold that house right there on Bald Eagle. All right, we're heading up now. Nice wide 2-lane road. This is originally supposed to connect over to Gibson Canyon Road, which is on the other side. They weren't able to make it happen yet because of easements and different things that, well, there's a whole nother story behind that, but why this is called Vacaville, because it's really supposed to connect to the other Vacaville on the north side of town. All right, so we're gonna actually pop out here so you guys have an idea of what the open space is like. So this is the Glen Eagle open space parking trailhead, to give you an idea right there. So we're gonna park over here. This didn't used to be like this. You kind of had to just park on the other side of that barrier. This is actually private property. They give you an easement. So we get to actually park here now and have a designated parking spot. So I'm gonna pop up this way, pop out, see what the open space is like. All right, so you saw us, that's the trailhead we came in, we parked right there, right? And then you come up over here, hop up, cross over safely, follow the trails, come up along, and then you can see where the person's coming down. There's like a cattle fence. You just meander through there, continue the trail on up, all the way up, and you can even see some folks hiking up the top right there. It's a beautiful view. There's a bench up there, a rope swing right over here, and then you get a view of this beautiful valley, right? So we have the upper side of Browns Valley here, Browns Valley School right down here, the Irish side down here. You can see the commercial spaces out here. The Nut Tree Airport is right here. Nugget Shopping Center is right there. So like Genentech, Lonza is right there. And then we have Amazon over here, 505. Sacramento is out that way. You can see the Rio Vista windmills that way. And Mount Diablo's just on the other side. You can see the crest of Mount Diablo over the other side of Old Rocky, right here. So, and you can even see one of the Air Force base planes flying to Travis right here, and one of the Cessnas that you'll see flying around this area from Nut Tree Airport. All right, so we're popping out now of the trailhead. You can see the beautiful basalt rock that I'm talking about right there. The rock climbers love to climb, and the rock that kept them from developing this hillside, because it would just be so invasive and expensive, it left these beautiful spaces for us. So we're gonna turn onto Rentham here, and we're gonna go down, down, down. And this is the Latter-day Saints Church right here. And then we'll go down Rentham, and we'll go by Browns Valley School. But before we do that, we're gonna turn up Rambleton and loop around so you can kind of see how this area backs up to the open space as well. So these homes up here are the quintessential red top roofs that you'll see up at Browns Valley. You can see they have that redder tile versus the muted red that we saw on the lower Irish side over there. So you can see this backs up to this beautiful hillside here. And this is open space up behind here, and you'll see an access down here. So these are gonna go more for the 700 range up this way. So your open space access is right here. You can see some folks that are heading out to go on the trail. This home here actually just went into contract within 5 days. So there are, as I said, RVs allowed up here. There's no HOA. You see folks have brought them out for camping season. Let's see if I can squeeze by this guy. I don't think I can. I think I'm gonna have to wait for him to move. All right, made it through. Coming down, Clare Castle is down this way. This takes you all the way down to Browns Valley Road. You can see where that goes. And we're gonna continue. This is Old Rocky up here. Beautiful area to go hike up there as well. So because of this backs up to the open space, a lot of these homes right here have really large lots, like half-acre lots. So really cool when those ones come up. There's another open space access right down here. And that is the word of the day, isn't it? Open space access. It's just something that this area has that a lot of neighborhoods don't have. So you can see another area to get to the trailhead back behind the homes there. And we pretty much bypassed Browns Valley Elementary coming out this way. So we'll come down Rambleton and take a left onto Rentham to get over there. Delwood Court, the home for sale right there. So square footage wise, these homes are gonna be 2,000 plus square feet on average. Like I said, they're gonna be up towards the 800,000s. Another nickname for Browns Valley is Copland. There is a lot of law enforcement that lives in Browns Valley. Vacaville has the highest percentage of officers that live and work in the same city, so something that's different to Vacaville versus other cities as well. All right, so we're taking a left onto Rentham. And you can see the school there, large park area, but you can see the larger park is going to be over in Rentham. Or not Rentham, but Ridgeview Park. So kindergarten's got out, school's still in. It's 12:20 p.m. But that's Browns Valley. I went to 5th and 6th there. All right, we're gonna come up to Clare Castle, and let's take this down so I can show you Bentley Square, which is an HOA community. So there used to be cows all throughout Browns Valley, and they back when they started, people were worried about, what are you going to do with the cows? You guys are developing farmland, which is a valid argument, but it's now become one of the most beloved communities in Vacaville. And the cows are still here. The cows are very much still farmed around the area, so you can see them back up to some of these open spaces. So right here on the left is going to be Bentley Square. And that is a HOA condo community. Not condo, single family home, but it's a HOA community. See part of it there. Another way to access it over there. But now we're popping into Browns Valley Road. And so this gets pretty busy here in the mornings, and it's gonna be busy here in a few hours when people get out of school and work. So we're gonna take a right onto here, and we're gonna have to bump up to 40 miles an hour. Go back onto Browns Valley Road. As you can see, the jogging trails are right here on your right. So just to go over the prices for the Irish side of Browns Valley, at $620,000 to $780,000 on average there right now. And then over the upper side, it's going to be $700,000 to $800,000, and then that Eagle Ranch area is going to be higher, up into the 900s. All right, so we just pulled into the Centennial Field. So we have tennis courts here, we have baseball fields here, and we have the soccer complex. So we're going to show you what that looks like. So we have the tennis area there. I used to do roller hockey there back in the day. We have the baseball fields over here. And they're also going to be doing a bike park in this area. A large dog park is put in right here. That was new in the last several years. So if I continue to drive around this way, we're going to have the soccer complex down here where the Vacaville United soccer area is. Looks like someone's doing some motorcycle safety training over here. But these are the soccer fields right here. So this is Centennial Fields. Also a good place to watch the fireworks that happen in the city of Vacaville. And then if we were just to turn back here, oh, here we go. There's a little bike park map. So let's look at this, give you an idea of what I'm talking about. That is the future of the bike park, completed in 2033. So you can see that's going to take a while for those projects to be completed, but very cool. This has been Browns Valley. Thanks for coming along and checking this area out. We looked at the open space, the racquetball club in shape, the Centennial Park field, so you have an idea of what's going on here. I have the Nut Tree Airport behind me. But thanks for coming along. If you want to know any more about this area, go tour some homes. You can hop on my calendar link in my bio, and we can hop on a call and discuss what you're looking for. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can find this channel again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.